Hello students, good morning. Welcome to Pandasar's virtual class on development economics. And today we will be discussing the new economic policy that started from the year 1991. Earlier we have discussed that after getting freedom, the Indian economy adopted an economic policy which was designed by the Planning Commission of India and which was implemented in the year 1950 and continued up to 1990. So, after verifying, after analyzing the result of various plans that we implemented during that 40 years, means 1950 to 1990, what were its plus points and what were its drawbacks. And surprisingly, we found many drawbacks in our old economic policy. That means, what was our expectation about the development, how much development we were expecting after implementing the old economic policy, the target was not achieved. So, once again, our planners thought seriously about where they left behind and what was the problem, and after a great analysis of data, they found some fact that needed to be changed. Thus came forward the new economic policy in the year 1991. So during the last phase of the old economic policy, what exactly was the condition of Indian economy? That we need to know, and why at all we needed a new economic policy. The reasons yesterday we have already discussed. Once again, in brief, let me tell you about the condition of Indian economy during the last phase of the old economic policy. That means in between 1980 to 1990. Huge fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit. What is fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit is the difference between government's income and government's expenditure. If we say there is a fiscal deficit when government's income becomes less than government's expenditure. So, in that way, the government at the end of the year, the government has to pay something and the government has no money to pay for that. So in such case, when we have to pay something and we don't have money, the only option we have is to get some loan. So in this way, year by year, the loan of Indian government, Indian economy started increasing and increasing and increasing. And during in the year 1990, the condition became so adverse that in the year 1990, we were paying 96.4% of our gross domestic product as interest payment. That means previously we have got so much loan that right now we have to pay almost 100% of our GDP. Means whatever income we are generating, all are being spent to pay not the amount, but the interest for the loan that we have already taken. So in such a case, the condition of Indian economy, you can imagine very well that the development almost stopped. And the second point is adverse BOP, balance of payment. Balance of payment, we have a entire chapter on balance of payment that we will be discussing in macroeconomics. But for the time being, just you understand what is balance of payment. Balance of a payment is the settlement between our export and import. So we say BOP is fair. There is fair balance of payment when our export means what we are sending or selling to other countries is just equal to what we are buying for other countries, from other countries. So, but when what we are buying is more than what we are selling to other countries, in other words, we can say our import is greater than our export. So in such a case, we say that the condition of balance of payment is adverse, not favorable. So in adverse balance of payment, again we needed money to pay the remaining amount. That means suppose we have imported worth 100 rupees and we have exported worth 80 rupees. So we have a deficit of 20 rupees that we have to generate or we have to pay. So what is our option? We have got two options. What two options? That in the first case we can devalue our domestic currency. That means we can once again consider the exchange rate. Suppose earlier for $1 we were paying 50 rupees. Now we will devalue our money and now for $1 we will be paying 60 rupees. So this is called a devaluation, a deliberate decision of changing in the exchange rate by the government of India. So and the second option we have is that deficit financing. Deficit financing means printing of more currencies. So in both the case, the straightforward result is that an inflationary situation will arise. That means more purchasing power is injected into the economy, and obviously the aggregate level of demand is more, but the supply remaining constant, the prices will go on increase and increase and increase, which is not at all desirable for an economy. So adverse BOP, the next point is drastic fall in foreign exchange reserve. So in order to make our economy stable, in order to win the faith of other countries that they will continue transaction or business with us, we need to have a certain stock of foreign exchange. And after beyond a level, if the stock of foreign exchange with us falls, then we we lose international credibility. That means no country will trust us and do business with us. So in such a case, the economic development is almost restricted. So here is a data what we can say. During the year 1980 and 81, the total stock of foreign exchange reserve with us was 8,200 crore, which during a time span of 10 rupees, that is in the year 1990 and 91, it was reduced to 6,000 crore rupees. And with this much foreign exchange, stock of foreign exchange, we could hardly maintain our import for 15 days. That means beyond 15 days, we don't have any foreign exchange to pay for our import. So such became the condition of our Indian economy during the year 1990. So poor performance of public sector. You know the next point, inefficient management. Due to inefficient management, due to corruption, widespread corruption, the public sector could not perform as it was expected. So in such a case, development was obstructed. So due to all these reasons, we needed a new economic policy. And let me tell you something more about 1990s. That time, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao and our finance minister was Dr. Manmohan Singh. Though a very brilliant person in the matter of economics, Dr. Manmohan Singh could not manage the economy, and it almost fell into the verge of destruction or a collapse. So that's why we needed a new economic policy. And what were the targets of new economic policy? That to increase the stock of foreign exchange. The first requirement that Indian economy needed at that time was to increase the amount of foreign exchange with it, so that it will win the credibility of other countries and everything will start becoming normal. Then the second objective was improve international competitiveness. So you know very well that in the during the old economic policy, Indian government adopted a policy of giving protection to indigenous technology and indigenous producers. And due to that, very greatly the new innovation were obstructed. That means Indian producers never worried, never bothered to make their product more competitive in the international market. That's why there was a lack of demand for Indian product in the international market. And the third objective was overall improvement in the performance of economy. That means in all sectors we needed seriously and quickly some sort of improvement so that we can bring back to our economy to the usual and everything will become normal. And keeping these objectives in mind, the planners, the Planning Commission of India adopted the policy of LPG. And L stands for liberalization, P stands for privatization, and G stands for globalization. So, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. These three policies combinedly were adopted by the economy of India, by the Indian government to rescue or to revive the Indian economy. And that much for today. We will be after in the next class one by one we will be discussing about liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So students, one more thing, let me tell you, I got some complaint from 11th class that they needed Hindi and they have problem with the English. So, if anyone of you have got any problem with English, then you can ask me to explain different things in Hindi also. I will be comfortable, there is no problem. But being a CBSE school, we should adapt English. But if it is your requirement, then I don't have any problem or objection to use Hindi in my videos. Thank you and have a nice day.